Hey, good afternoon, and welcome back inside the Patterson Ice Center in Grand Rapids. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is your East Hockey live stream as the Pioneers are going to go for a 7-0 start as they face off against a perennial D3 contender in the Bay Reps. Day one of the West Michigan Hockey Showcase certainly went well for East Grand Rapids as well as Bay Reps too. Bay Reps won 4-2 against Grand Rapids Christian. Meanwhile, if you were watching yesterday, you saw quite the collision between two of the top three teams, at least by the Michigan High School Hockey Hub rankings, in all of Division III across the state, as East collected a shootout victory, 2-1 against the Houghton Gremlins right here at Patterson on this same rink on the west side. We welcome you into press row. Yesterday, Brady Ross scored the game-tying goal, the only goal of regulation for the Pioneers. That's their lowest offensive output in a game so far this season, but, well, the way the start of the year has gone, I guess appropriate that they still discovered a way to pull out a victory. And I know I said on the air yesterday that the game officially would be a tie in the record books. I think it's actually going to go down as a win because in the pre-tournament agreement between all these teams, or the pre-showcase agreement, the teams agreed that you would decide winners that went beyond, or in games that went beyond regulation tied with a shootout. So there you go. If it's agreed upon, then it appears that those results are binding. And so the Pioneers with that 2-1 shootout win, authored by 3 goals from seniors. We saw Bennett Winkle, Oliver Owen, and James Albers all score in the first 3 rounds. But it took a freshman in Trevor Bird to score what will not officially go down as his first varsity goal, but will be the deciding goal in the shootout. It all the way went into the 7th round before the Pioneers got the victory. Bird scored in the top of the 7th, and then in the bottom of the 7th, if you will, their freshman goaltender, Charlie Finch, made the clinching save. So EGR at 6-0 on the season, and also that victory raised head coach Chris Newton's career win total at East Grand Rapids to 99. So he's one away from triple digits, one away from 100. We'll keep our eye on that. If the Pioneers can get the win this afternoon, they will push Newton into the 100 win club at East Grand Rapids. But it's not going to be easy. Like I mentioned, Bay Reps, they picked up the win yesterday against Grand Rapids Christian right here. On the season, they're 5-2 for their 7th-year head coach, Mike Matucci. And despite losing their top 7 scorers from last season, the Bay Reps are once again in position to make a run for another regional crown. They've won 3 straight regional titles. They have not been beyond the semifinal round in the tournament, but they have 7 overall region championships since 2002. This is one of the top co-op teams in all of Michigan. Among the losses, though, last year, 3 of those players, as far as I could tell, are active in the junior ranks. Grant Lucas, who had 55 points, he's playing in the Central Canadian Hockey League. Ethan Coleman, who had 43 points last year, he's in the NA3HL. And Thomas Boynton Fisher, who had 51 points for the Bay Reps last season, he's playing in the Saskatchewan Junior League with the Notre Dame Hounds. Last year, these teams faced off twice. They played once in the regular season at Traverse City. A 5-2 Bay Reps win. The 2 goals accounted for by Oliver Owen and James Albers on the East Grand Rapids side. But then in the one that really mattered in the state semifinal down in Plymouth last March, EGR scored a 3-0 victory. Oliver Owen and James Albers also scored in that game as well as, so they've scored actually 2 goals apiece last season against Bay Reps, but Owen, in fact, has 3 career goals against the Bay Reps as he scored in the quarterfinal matchup between these teams 2 seasons ago in March of 2023. So this is the 4th meeting in less than 2 calendar years between these 2 Division III powers. So Owen's got a 3-game goal streak against the Reps. No surprise with his finishing ability. But yesterday it came down to just 1 goal needed to get it to the overtime shootout, and that was scored by Brady Ross. Okay, we're just about set for the face-off here, so I'll throw it down to ice level. Thanks again to Jake Tiedema for running the camera both days this weekend, as we are back less than 24 hours after East Grand Rapids scored an emotional win against Houghton. Houghton ranked number 3 in the state, according to Michigan Hockey Hub, and the Pioneers at number 2. Puck ready to be dropped, and Bennett Winkle's line gets the start against Colton Davidson, and Davidson and the Bay Reps win the faceoff, and they'll dump it in deep. Fielding it back there, making his 7th consecutive start is Charlie Finch. He'll drive it away to the near side wall. Brooks gives it ahead to Bryce Bjornsson. Makes a little move and flips it into the near corner. The Reps on the retrieval. From the far side, chipped ahead by Davidson. Here he comes, or excuse me, that's Lewis Walter, I should say. Walter, the senior forward, 13 points last season, but he was stripped of the puck. Bjornsson tries to poke it forward. Instead, it's Davidson, and we've got a too many men on the ice penalty coming up. Early whistle, early power play coming. But who's it going to be on? Looks like East Grand Rapids got caught with 6 skaters on the ice. Bennett Winkle is going to serve the penalty, but it's officially ticketed to the bench. 16:33 to go in the first. East Grand Rapids has not allowed a power play goal yet this season, but Bay Reps controls the faceoff, and swinging it over to the far side is Joel Zasina. Zasina, sophomore defenseman, now hands it off. Wrist shot by Carter Denoyer, and that's off the blocker of Finch. Good save to start the penalty kill. Zasina clears it over to the far point. Now he gets it back, scans his options. Again, Denoyer from the faceoff circle, centering for a one-timer, and that was partially blocked off the stick of Lewis Walter and cleared by Cooper Rowan for East Grand Rapids. First power play of the game comes very early on, as East is short a man for the next 1 minute and 20 seconds. My name is Matt Gajtka. Welcome to the broadcast on the East Hockey live stream. Zooming down the wall, Elliot Mason lets it go on the wrist shot, and that's off the glove, the tip of the glove of Finch. Zasina over on near wing. He and Mason assigned to the points, and it's flipped right by Zasina, and down it goes. A minute to go on the power play. East has already executed one line change. Down a man. Whit Hill and Porter Brooks are out there defensively. It's Owen and the other Brooks, Nolan Brooks, up front, trying to kill this one off. Zach Gerlando shooting through traffic, and it never got through. Bounces over to the far corner, Jake Dunphy. He's stripped and cleared by Nolan Brooks. Again, no Owen Stropke, no Ethan Brinker on the East Grand Rapids blue line. Stropke, the senior, Brinker, the junior, both third-year varsity players, both injured and out, we'll call it medium term, probably until the new year. Dumped down again, just 14 seconds remaining on this power play for the Bay Reps. Each of these teams bringing momentum in, but of course, second game of the weekend after an emotional start, especially for East in that game against Houghton. We'll see what they've got in the tank. Charging ahead Ross, so he nearly picked the pocket of Gerlando as the Pioneers return to even strength. Albers lays a hit in behind the Bay Reps net. Pushed out toward the front by Ross, that was blocked away. Stepping up Rowan, dispossessed, but it drifts right to Albers, who closes and shoots off the goalpost. Behind goaltender Tyler Boynton-Fisher, and the Pioneers are on it again. Goosens, who ate so many pucks yesterday, blocking shots. This time he tries to put a shot on net himself, but that missed into the corner. Rowan with the puck in his skates just barely kept it onside, but he ends up giving it away to Gerlando, who ices the puck for Bay Reps. And the Pioneers will gladly take the offensive zone draw, trying to get their attack in gear. After scoring the one goal yesterday, East has 28 on the season in 6 games, or excuse me, 29. So just shy of 5 per game. Your Nears are ranked 8th overall in the state, regardless of division, according to Michigan High School Hockey Hub. And another clean face-off win, this time from Bennett Winkle. Porter Brooks tried to get it through bodies. It ends up in the corner. 13:42 to go in the first, and an attempted centering pass from Bjornsson was blocked. Around to the near wing. Lifted up, but not out. Winkle held it there. And now Winkle tries to give it over to Brooks. Handcuffed him. So stepping to Porter Brooks. This is Bjornsson on a little exchange in the corner. On the cycle game, Winkle being restricted a bit. Now he'll pull free of the pressure. Hill Dumps it below the goal line again. Good shift here. Brooks put it out in front, and right off the heel, the stick of Winkle, who was checked closely and forced out by the Bay reps. Hill turns it back against the grain. Good feed to Winkle. Winkle finds Bjornsson in stride. Moving it over the line. Put it on goal right into the belly pad of Boynton Fisher, and no further play. Leading scorers for East Grand Rapids so far this season, we've got a tie in points between Brady Ross, 5 goals, 8 assists, and James Albers, 8 goals, 5 assists, each with 13. Owen is one back with 12 points, 5 goals and 7 helpers. No one else over 10, but Winkle's close. 4 goals, 5 assists for 9 total points. Kicked out to center by Bo Klassens. Now spinning around Gerlando for Bay reps. Turned it over. Right in his face was Jake Goosens. Goosens over to Bird. Right out in front. Goosens backhand. Good save by Boynton Fisher, and he pounces on the rebound. Goosens in a bid for goal number 3 on the year, but he's denied with the outstretched left pad of Tyler Boynton Fisher, who this year with a record of 3-2, a .932 save percentage. All these stats, by the way, for Bay reps were entering the weekend, as they have not updated their stat sheet after the 4-2 win against Christian yesterday. I'm imagining that Boynton Fisher played in that game. If that's the case, then he's 4-2, not 3-2. But again, strong numbers for him. We saw him stand out last year, helping to lead this Bay rep squad to the state semifinal, the furthest they've ever made it in the state tournament. Owen. Great pass across. Hooks up with Ross. He's got some space from the circle. Fed it out in front. And it's just away from the stick of James Albers. Albers always hunting and looking for the open space in front. This line plays at a high pace. Ross, Owen, and Albers. Fed in behind. Here's Finch, who had a .940 save percentage going into yesterday. Didn't get any worse, that's for sure, just allowing the 1 goal to Houghton. Did give up 3 shootout goals, but those don't count in all the official stat keeping. Fed deep into the east zone. Winkle retrieves, put it into the skates of Hill, but he handled it well. Owen now simply clears. Gun right back the other way. Benjamin Newman did the job for Bay reps. Oh, a little miscommunication behind the net. And now Michael Frederick is on it. Played it out to the point. And a stub shot by Walter. That's Edward Walter. Back with it, Winkle. Cutting in, shooting, deflected into the screen and out of play. 6 minutes in, and the Pioneers are making some headway with their speed. They're pushing back the Bay reps defenders. And that's giving them some room at the top of the zone to do their work. A little bit different compared to the matchup against Houghton yesterday. Houghton really did match East's speed, I would say. There was just not any room, especially in the neutral zone. East couldn't get their rush game going, as Winkle tried to spin the backhand toward the front, but that was rejected. Jake Ingersoll had his pass deflected into the area. He's got to fight for it right at the red line. Winkle wedged him off it. Nolan Brooks, one hand on the stick, and forces the turnover. Back into the east end. It's the Nears defenseman, Goosens. Carrying it in, Bjornsson, circling, firing short side, rebound out in front, but the net was dislodged. It might have been dislodged by the goalie, I think, Boynton Fisher. Bjornsson tried him from an extremely sharp angle right along the goal line. Hit the outside of the net. I don't think the netminder made a save on that one. So we play on. East will get the offensive zone draw. And Runyon getting in after it after the face-off loss, but East still forced the reps to work for it to try to get it back. Sent around the kick plate in behind. Boynton Fisher left it there. But taking it and circling, Jake Goosens. All the way out to Hill. He'll go across, looking, firing is Brooks, and it's off the shoulder of Boynton Fisher. Runyon takes it and put it off the outside of the goal. Owen Runyon still in search of his first varsity point. keeps doing that. He'll get it sooner rather than later. Bird's pass was intercepted into the skates of Porter Brooks and poked by him. Maybe a 2-on-1 back for the Reps. Lewis Walter chipped the pass across, intercepted by Hill. Great job. On the near side was Aiden Fairbank making a beeline for the post, but the pass never got to him. Now Fairbank calls for it as East changes the lines. Albers delicately into the zone, and a snapshot. That wasn't so delicate. That was right off the blocker hand of Boynton Fisher. Behind the goal, Ross, as East turns up the pace, gave it to Owen, and a blind backhand just missed. Albers flicks it back behind his body over to Rowan. Now back to Albers, shooting from the sidewall. Didn't get through, blocked in front. Owen pulling it, challenging the middle. His pass over to Caden Goosens, took it on the backhand. Off to Ross, angle play. In behind the net, Owen pulls it, looking for Ross in front. Couldn't complete the pass. Now Albers joins. Albers in front, and they score! Brady Ross on the beautiful feed from James Albers, and with 8:50 to go in the first period, another hard-working goal for East Grand Rapids and Ross. Salute your solution. 1-0 Nears. Ross immediately pointing to Albers saying, hey, that's all on you, buddy, because the finishing end was maybe the easier side of it. Of course, it's never easy until it's in the back of the net, is it? For Ross, 2 goals in 2 games and give him 6 on the year. This time, the Pioneers lead. They didn't lead at all yesterday until the very end of the shootout. Bjornsson charging ahead, and he is stymied by Gerlando in the corner. Gerlando, one of several Bay Reps returning from last year. Like I said, they lost their top 7 scorers, but a lot of the depth is here for the Reps. Centered out in front, good shot, better save. Nolan Brooks pumped it on target. Boynton Fisher kicked it out. Brooks centering. Here's Winkle. He tried to pick his way for a successful pass into the corner, but it was broken up. Back behind the goal, Bjornsson battling there. 4 shots on goal for East Grand Rapids, none yet for the Bay Reps, although the Reps did have a 2-on-1 a couple of minutes ago that didn't result in a shot attempt. Winkle turning from out behind the goal, played it to the point. Here's the shot from Porter Brooks. That was stopped. After it is his brother Nolan in the corner. Nolan Brooks to Winkle, back out to Porter Brooks. Can he hold the line? He can't. And again, here come the Bay Reps. Bodway leaning in right to the net, saved by Finch, and it's poked into the goal. The Reps have tied it. Bodway created the chance as he drove his way right to the net. And who did finish that one off? Looks like it's Michael Frederick going through the handshake line first. The Reps knotted up with 7:38 left in the first period. A little more than a minute after East took the lead. Michael Frederick, his 3rd of the year. Just yeoman's work in front, hacking and whacking and trying to find that rebound after Bodway was stopped on his power move down the left side. A couple of even strength goals, and we're level again, just like we started. To the corner, retrieving it, Zesina. Dished it to the far wing, but it's back behind the net. Bird trying to center it, but that was blocked off. To the far wing, and Patterson redirecting it ahead. Watch out as Ingersoll lugs it into the attacking end. Caden Goosens ties him up in the corner. Up the far wall, Patterson. Patterson reaching in with Ingersoll. It hops loose, now over to the corner. Bird driving it down and out past Zesina, but that'll be icing against the Pioneers. 6:44 left in the period. So Bay Reps did not have a single shot until that scoring chance. The first shot from Bodway stopped, but the second one went in. So not a high shot volume game so far. 4 for the Nears. Half that for the Reps, but we're 1 apiece. Oliver Owen, the chip in charge, getting past Carter Denoyer into the corner. Owen shoots. That's a hot shot off the shoulder of Boynton Fisher, and he pins the rebound down to the ice with Albers right there in his kitchen. Just the one power play so far, very early on. East killed it off to remain perfect on the season on the PK. Ross into the middle, firing off the shoulder of Boynton Fisher. Great opportunity. Faceoff was won by Albers. You know, that's funny. I've noticed now, I talked to the Houghton head coach yesterday, Micah Stipek, and he said East has a lot of great little face-off plays and just in general better plans off face-off wins and losses for that matter than most high school teams do. And now that he mentioned that, the last two games I have noticed that how much offense that the Pioneers do create off the draw. It speaks well of the coaching staff, of course, led by Chris Newton. Driving it ahead, Albers collects it on his off wing, backhand toward the front. Again, the net comes off its pegs, but it doesn't matter because Boynton Fisher has it frozen at his feet. They're going to have to figure out a way to secure that post a little bit better on both sides, honestly. It's come off on both sides. Boynton Fisher appears to be one of these goalies that pushes really hard off the iron to get from side to side. Some goalies use it a lot, some goalies don't. Some goalies use more just the leverage of the skate into the ice. Again, the Nears control the draw, and this time they turn it over high in the zone. Back with it, the Reps. Luke Schulte couldn't chip it down the wall. The Reps are going to have to start over. Mason gave it around. Zasina couldn't get it by Bennett Winkle at the wall. Winkle closes, fires, save. Boynton Fisher again, and now the Pioneers are starting to put more rubber on net. That's their 7th shot. They keep this up, they'll be just fine the rest of the afternoon. 5.5 remaining in the first. Next week, the Pioneers head north, way north, to Marquette. They'll play Marquette and Sault Ste. Marie. Both games in the same city, at least as far as I could tell. I didn't think that they were going out to Sault Ste. Marie on the way home, so to speak. Still a long way from home, but a little bit closer from the Sioux. Edward Walter, good shot and a blocker save, punched away by Charlie Finch, keeping it 1-1. Reps have some scoring ability. Here's Mason circling, pulling up, and that created some space for Colton Davidson to swoop in and take control, but Jake Goosens breaks it up. However, the Reps clear, but the pass comes over to the near wing side. Thatcher Bodway, who set up the first goal for Bay Reps. Systematically, they click it along. Edward Walter, again a shot from the same spot that he just had one, and again a blocker side save for Finch. Frederick pinned to the wall by a couple of defenders, but he keeps going. Now he's dropped on the check from Whit Hill. To the far corner, Bjornsson shields off his man. That's the captain, Jake Dunphy of Bay Reps. Dunphy wanted a penalty call, he didn't get it. Chipped out by Porter Brooks. Bjornsson couldn't run the gauntlet. He was denied there at the blue line. Back with it comes Ingersoll. Full slap shot blocked by Hill. Right off his shin pad. Hill sending it all the way down. It'll go just wide of the net, so icing will be called with 3:59 remaining before intermission. Leading scorer coming into the weekend for Bay Reps. They're not scoring a ton of goals, but Colton Davidson had 4 assists and 5 points to lead the team. Thatcher Bodway had 4 goals. That led the squad by a couple. Well, it did until Frederick scored just a few moments ago. Bodway picked up his first assist of the season on the play. The leading returning scorer, though, for this team was Lewis Walter, and he just had 13 points last year. Good move on the drag by Ross, and he stopped on the pad save by Boynton Fisher again. Caden Goosens knocked it down the wall. That's now 8 shots for East Grand Rapids. Owen hooked it back against the grain. Albers, he wanted to try to deke past the defender and couldn't do it. Over on the near wall, Goosens. The puck comes loose, and it's cleared off the wall by Denoyer and out, but now jammed right back in from neutral ice by Owen. That's a 75-foot shot that Boynton Fisher had to still make a save on. Goosens jams it around. That was Caden Goosens. Now he heads off for a line change. Fresh off the bench, Porter Brooks, freshman D. A couple of freshman D out there for East Grand Rapids today. Hard hit. One of the Pioneers, Albers, went down awkwardly. He's got to find his stick as Hill lobs one in on Boynton Fisher, and he elects to freeze. Just under 3 remaining in the first period. Ross, the goal scorer for East, and Michael Frederick for Bay Reps. There's a couple of Fredericks on the roster, but Bennett Frederick, didn't see him skate during warm-up. I'm not sure he's dressed today. He's a freshman. Michael is a junior. Other multiple goal scorers early on this season. Lewis Walter has 2, and so does Carter Denoyer from the blue line. And a penalty on the board to the Bay Reps. First power play of the night. Didn't catch that. 2 minutes on the board to Aiden Fairbank at the 2:56 mark. East has had a couple of games where they've really gotten the power play going this year. A 4-goal game on the power play against Forest Hills Northern and Eastern about a week and a half ago here. And then in the win against Salem, which some might have considered an upset victory. Salem from a higher division, but East beat them 5-3 behind 3 power play goals. Long discussion at the East Grand Rapids bench, and eventually they got it figured out. Face-off win. Goosens pumped it toward net, but that was blocked by Denoyer. Around to the far wing, Bjornsson handling the loose biscuit. Gives it to Rowan. Tough pass for him to take on his forehand, but he eventually surrounds it. Bird coming off the wall, shooting. Save Boynton Fisher. Good job locating that puck through a maze of bodies and legs and sticks. He hangs on, and East will send its top unit over the boards. Pretty good job to give the big boys a breather. And so it's Winkle, Brooks, Albers, and Owen, the forwards. Actually, Ross make it a 5-forward power play. And it's Owen shooting off the pad. You can hear it up here, the thud. Boynton Fisher makes another save. That's 10 shots for East. Ross controls, lines one up, save Boynton Fisher, and hit him right in the throat protector under the mask, and then he caught it with his glove. And he's going to make sure, is Boynton Fisher, that everything's structurally sound on the mask. 1:24 to go on the power play. Never got the penalty call against Aiden Fairbank. But in the end, it's all bookkeeping. Doesn't really matter when it comes down to it. Winkle won the draw. Owen back to the point with Ross. Ross, and again, over to Owen. East uses a couple of forwards on their strong sides on the flanks. So not one-time threats, but they can still let it go with the best of them from those sides. Albers is the other on the right side, but as for right now, it's behind the net, and the battle is on. Albers leans in. The puck comes loose, turned over, out high. Ross handing off Albers, and he tried to wrist one toward goal. That was blocked. 52 seconds to go on the power play. Owen, center point. Thrown by Ross diagonally. Off the corner boards. Winkle mishandled it. Did the Bay Reps Bodeway. Far side, wrist shot by Albers, stopped by Boynton Fisher. It's still free in the slot and from between the circles. Albers yanks it back to the point. Ross under pressure, still got it through to Owen with some time, and he scores! Oh, we've seen that one before. All over Owen from the left circle. 2-1. And it's a PPG for EGR. 1:22 left before the break. Owen guns it into the goal. Past the blocker hand of Tyler Boynton Fisher. And again, it's the guys up top, little umbrella look. Ross, Albers, and Owen, they all combine, as they have many times already this year, for a 2-1 lead. And East special teams are heard from. making the penalty to Aiden Fairbank hurt for the Bay Reps. And they've got 1:15 to answer before both teams head to the locker rooms. And off the deflection, and it heads up over the top of the east bench. We'll need a new puck, and we'll get one. Earlier today, Houghton, the Gremlins, in the first game on, they beat Forest Hills Central 3-0. So Houghton played two of the de facto home teams in this event and went 1-1, and the loss was a shootout loss. Strong performance from the Gremlins coming way down here. They wanted to get some more reps, making long trips, playing teams from outside their area. Stepping up to Neuer, shot blocked in the middle. Rowan churns his legs. Cooper Rowan shooting wide of goal. 44 seconds left in the period. Out high in the zone, Dunphy one-hands it along, but eventually onto the stick of Owen, who inadvertently shoots it off the rink just past the backup goalie for the Bay Reps, Sawyer Stone. The Bay Reps are a co-op team that encompasses several schools in the Traverse City area and north for the most part. At one point I had all those teams written down. Maybe I can find that between the first and the second period, or all the schools written down, I should say, that make up the Bay Reps team. Lewis Walter, shooting score! Lewis Walter, a sharp angle stunner with 20 seconds to go in the period, and we're tied at 2. And the Bay Reps whoop it up. Twice already they've come from behind to tie. If it goes to Walter, it's his third of the year. And another even strength goal for the Reps. Beat Finch over the shoulder, it appeared. I'll have to take a look at that one. See if I can figure out where it entered the net. But it was a howitzer of a shot from the far corner down to our right. 12 seconds to go in the period. Tie game again. This time it took the Bay Reps a minute and 2 seconds to tie. The first time it was a minute 12 before they got back even. Brooks knocked down Fairbank, and Brooks took a little retaliatory bump as the buzzer sounds, ending an entertaining first period. The shots on goal, 12-6 for East Grand Rapids, but it's 2-2 where it counts through 17 minutes. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is the East Hockey live stream. Stay with us from the West Michigan Hockey Showcase on this Saturday afternoon. 2-2 headed for the second period. I'm Matt Gajtka, and this is the East Hockey live stream, day 2 of the West Michigan Showcase. East took a couple of one-goal leads in the opening frame, but both times the Bay Reps battled back, and you'd expect nothing less. We expected 2 very competitive games in this showcase for East. It certainly was yesterday. It was a war against Houghton, no doubt about that. Lower Peninsula versus Upper Peninsula. Not so much here, but still, I guess you could say West Michigan versus Northern Michigan in this case. We'll start at even strength. East outshot the Reps 12-6 in the first period, and off we go. The Bay Reps in the blue with the red and the white trim, and East in their home uniforms again for the second straight day. Playing on their home rink here, the West rink at Patterson, although both of them really are their home rinks, depending on availability, and they're plenty familiar with both of them. Caden Goosens took a hard bump, but he fed the puck below the goal line, centered out in front. Oh, Winkle had a couple of Pioneers in front, but it eluded both of them. It was Brooks and Bjornsson. Nolan Brooks pulling it off the wall. Lost it as it drifted away. Brooks turning behind the net and fended off by Zasina. Fairbank, the big-bodied alternate captain for the Bay Reps, hammers it down. Out it goes. It deflected off of a Pioneer, so no icing. On the fresh sheet, after the Zamboni did its work, Albers, he tried to poke it by Zasina, but Brooks follows on. However, no. I think this is whistled on an offside. And the Pioneers coaches, in unison, you can hear them say no. And I'm not quite sure. It was close. And actually, no, it's not. It's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Excuse me. I was going to say I didn't feel like it was offside, but Nolan Brooks is going to the bench or the box. The bench in the box, I guess you could say, for 2 minutes. Unsportsmanlike. And I didn't see. Well, maybe it was whistled offside and then Brooks said something. That could be what actually happened there. So, could have been both things that happened during that short break. So the Bay Reps get their second power play. Unforced error by the Nears. We'll see if their PK group can come up with another kill. It's Ross and Albers along with Brooks and Hill on the blue line. And the faceoff controlled by the Bay Reps. Knocked around the wall by Walter, who scored the second goal in the first period for the Reps. Zasina fed it across, and Denoyer gave it off for a wrist shot by Mason that hit the shin pad of Albers, but still in control of the Reps. Mason, top of the circle, whiffed on the shot. Albers with a flip, and can he get it out the center? He will. Short-handed chance with Ross. Albers cruising, shooting, and hit the goalpost. And it deflects over to the near side boards. Albers, you knew he had that in mind. He was like a shark there. Once that puck came to him in his own end, he was going to try to take on the the defense for the Bay Reps, and Mason in particular. Errant pass from the Bay Reps, back for a Denoyer. Albers heads off to the bench. Bjornsson replaces him. Denoyer cradles, backpedals, another errant pass though, and it ends up at center ice. Zasina's got to retreat for it. Joel Zasina eludes the poke check of Bjornsson. Now he's got some room, left the puck behind. Maybe a little puddle over there as the puck just didn't want to move. And the Reps are having some issues with the puck down on that end. Denoyer, center point, wristing, didn't get through. Blocked in front by Porter Brooks, I think. If not, it might have hit Lewis Walter. Walter takes it. Denoyer. Near side play. Mason shot, and he just missed. That far side post into Karams off the corner boards and all the way back down. Zasina retrieves. 24 seconds to go on the Bay Reps power play. Their second of the afternoon. Bjornsson lays a hit, but it's a 2-on-2 rush for the Reps. Trying to stop and start was Edward Walter. Nearly toe-picked in the corner, but the puck stays down there as Michael Frederick follows on. Coughed it up to Whithill, and he clears right down the middle of the ice. Boynton Fisher, his first action of the period, hands it off behind the net. Bodway run into, stolen by Owen. Oh, Winkle nearly put it in the skates of the defender Denoyer and pulled it around him. Or excuse me, that was Edward Walter rather, but couldn't quite pull off the fancy move. Power play is over. Nolan Brooks out of the box. And the Pioneers are 2 for 2 on the kill, but this will go for an icing. Trevor Bird couldn't get to that shoot in by Porter Brooks. 13:41 to go in the second. Back to even strength. Our next broadcast on the East Hockey live stream will be the Friday before Christmas. 5 o'clock scheduled start at Griff's Ice House at Belknap Park against Rockford. Back to OK conference play. Here comes Jake Goosens. He hit the goalpost. He did not score. Caden Goosens lofts it along. Everyone celebrated down to my right, but it was not in the net, unfortunately, for East. They nearly took their third lead of the game. Runyon put it off the goaltender, Boynton Fisher, and again, the net comes off. Boynton Fisher is just pushing so hard against those posts. And, well, a goaltender only gets so many times for that before he's called for a delay of game, typically. So keep your eye on that. I think the right call was made on the no goal when Jake Goosens burst his way to the front. At least that's just my instinct there. Plenty of action in this game, huh? 2 goals apiece, a lot of close calls. Pioneers win the draw. Rowan shooting. That's off the leg of Lewis Walter. Fairbank looks up. Wanted to hook up with Walter at center, but it was picked off by Caden Goosens, who shoots it in again. Boynton Fisher with a quick handoff, but Owen's right there to try to take it away. It comes up the far wing. Fairbank couldn't get it by Caden Goosens, who pinched up successfully. Albers takes it from Owen to the backhand. Couldn't get the shot away, and it drips in on net. Boynton Fisher jumps on it. And there's the whistle. East has an interesting last 4 games before the Christmas break. They'll take 2.5 weeks off. The aforementioned trip up north, Marquette and Sault Ste. Marie. Always tough to travel that far and get results, so that's not going to be easy. And then at Rockford, and then at Flint Powers Catholic to end the pre-holiday portion of the schedule. Albers getting around the edge, and I think he hit the outside of the post with that forehand shot. Still, we remain 2-2. Denoyer, little head fake. Try to force it down the wall to Michael Frederick. That didn't work. He'll go again toward Frederick, but it's off his stick onto the blade of Cooper Rowan, who gets it right back from Caden Goosens. Rowan's pass, handled deftly at center by Oliver Owen. He rambles in. His pass was blocked to the corner by Gerlando, but Owen takes it back, gave it to Ross. Now Winkle on goal with that shot. Stopped by Boynton Fisher. Cleared out to center, Porter Brooks. Fed it over to Ross, who dumps it cross corner. Right there is Carter Denoyer. Had it picked off on the wall by Winkle, who overwhelmed Michael Frederick. Now Bjornsson joins the party. What a move by Winkle. Passed it behind his intended receiver, Alex Barnes. Winkle with Bjornsson. Winkle looks to emerge, and it drifts off his stick. Pioneers keep the energy up. Barnes on this line for this shift. Alex Barnes, junior forward, first-year varsity player. No points in 6 games so far. Barnes couldn't take this feed cleanly from Winkle. Right over the Davenport Panther logo at center ice. I think the Panthers had a game last night here. Hill tried to kick it at the blue line, but he whiffed. And so Bird, his fellow freshman, will bail him out. Now Hill, a good pass to Runyon, but he left it behind. Bjornsson broke it up, though. On comes Bird, and there's going to be a penalty. Going to be a penalty against East Grand Rapids. Delayed call, whistle sounds, tripping in the neutral ice area with exactly 11 minutes to go in the second period. Third time short for East. Bjornsson, the guilty man this time. Just one shot on goal for either side in this period. Kind of beggars belief, doesn't it, with how many times we've seen the teams buzz around the net. Zasina off the face-off win, and he ripped it right between the 2 and the 0 on Charlie Finch's chest. We'll do it again from that same dot. Hard to believe Joel Zasina has no points on the year. I feel like he's involved in a lot offensively for the Bay Reps. But number 20 in blue, still not on the score sheet this season. Goosens clears into the glove of Albers, who finishes the job, sending it deep into Bay Reps territory. Denoyer, a strong skater, makes Albers miss as he emerges from behind his net. Lead pass to Colton Davidson, shooting from the angle. That missed into the corner. East is just trying to poach up to get shorthanded chances, but right now they got to defend. Cross-ring pass, Denoyer couldn't shoot it. Handed off, Zasina, left circle. Feeding it across. All the way over there is Bodway to the corner in Denoyer. Excuse me, that was Mason who made the pass over to Denoyer. Mason shooting off a stick. Zasina faked the slapper and gave it on back. Sharp pass. Here's a wrist shot. Never got through again. East blocking shots again. Quite well on the penalty kill. Big hit from the side, and that's going to be a penalty. Zasina has the puck. Delayed call, extra attacker coming on if Boyden Fisher can get to the bench, and he will. It's a 6-on-4. On the delayed penalty call, 49 seconds to go on the power play. Will the Bay Reps just give the puck away? That might be the smart thing to get a 2-man advantage, but it's all the way back on their own end, and Elliot Mason circles the wagons. Mason down the right wing. Yeah, I think you might want to give it up here, and it looks like they finally will. Rowan touches for East, but it's only going to be a 30-second 2-man advantage. About 30 seconds ran off the clock from the time the penalty was called, and Ross is nabbed for the illegal hit. One of those blind side swipe type hits that can be dangerous. It's always a fine line, though, between what's a blind side and what's from the side. A third penalty in this period against East. Head contact. I think I saw the referee put up 2 fingers for 2 minutes to Ross at the 9:29 mark of the second period. Coach Chris Newton getting an explanation. And I think a timeout has been called. By which side, I'm not sure. A 4th power play for the Bay Reps as they try to take the lead for the first time today. Recapping your scoring, it all happened in the first period. Brady Ross scored his 2nd goal in as many games, 6th of the season, off assists from Albers and Owen with 8:50 left in the first. Pioneers led 1-0. Then the Bay Reps struck back. On a rebound chance, Michael Frederick put it in. Thatcher Bodway with the assist and the lone assist. That was 1 minute and 12 seconds after East took the lead. It was tied 1-1. Then EGR back on top with a power play goal. Owen from the left circle. Past the glove of Tyler Boynton Fisher, the Bay Reps goalie. Assists to Ross and Albers. So those 3 again combine on a goal with 1:22 left in the period. East led 2-1, but with 20 seconds left, Bay Reps' Lewis Walter scored unassisted on a blistering wrist shot from the corner. Even strength goal. Nothing, as I mentioned, in this period, but not for lack of trying, and now the Bay Reps have a 2-man advantage. And after the timeout, the lady who's in the box had something to say to the referee, maybe confused about the penalties being issued. Denoyer takes it, 5-on-3. The Reps control, it's Mason off to the far wing. Zasina back to Mason, drifting. Zasina looks, passes, Mason, 15 seconds to go on the first penalty. Zasina down low, Denoyer into the middle, a shot on the one-timer. Walter missed the goal, and Charlie Finch dives out to get the stoppage in play. 7 seconds left on the 2-man advantage. It is freezing cold in this rink today. Usually pretty cold. Today, really cold. Not quite as many people in the building today, I've noticed. Clean win. 6 seconds to go. Zasina closes. Little kick of the back leg, stylishly. Mason to Zasina. 2-man's over. Denoyer takes it. Here comes Whitaker Hill to join the fray. It's a 5-on-4. For 80 more seconds. Denoyer shoots, deflected by Hill, and out of play. So East has killed off 3. They're working on the 4th on the day. And I mentioned they have not allowed a power play goal yet this season. This game number 7, they've won their first 6. That's a big reason why they've won their first 6. In addition to the outstanding offense, of course. I mentioned they are averaging just under 5 goals per game. Today, 2 on the board about midway through. It will be midway through in just a few seconds. Again, a face-off controlled by the Reps, and a wrist shot goes just wide by Aiden Fairbank off the boards from in behind. The pass eludes the reach of Bodway. Second unit out there for the Bay Reps. Gerlando to Bodway. Shot from the corner in between the pillows of Charlie Finch. 1 minute exactly left on the Brady Ross head contact penalty. The Bay Reps coached by Mike Matucci, who has a record of 102, 42, and 6. In fact, make that 103, 42, and 6. After the victory yesterday against Grand Rapids Christian. Christian came back and won today. They defeated White Lake 4-2 in the first game of the day on this rink. East gets another clear. Fairbank revs it up. Looks to go after his own dump-in with a head of steam, but now he backpedals. Bjornsson in full control for East. Can he clear? He can. On down it goes, past the reach of the lunging Zach Gerlando. And so we're down to the final half minute of this sequence of penalties for East. They've been short 3 times in this period. Dumped in on net. Finch decides to field it like a third baseman on 3 hops and hangs on. This is the 4th meeting between these two teams in less than 2 calendar years. East has won the 2 playoff meetings over that span. Last year's semi, 3-0, and the 2023 quarterfinal up in Big Rapids, 3-1. Oliver Owen, by the way, has now scored in each of the last 4 meetings between these two teams. Exactly 1 goal in each of the 4 meetings. From the corner, the pass, and it's picked off. Winkle puts it in the skates of Fairbank. Couldn't make the move around the outside, but Winkle happy to kill some time. He had his legs taken out from behind. No penalty. The Pioneers Partisans wanted one, obviously, as you could hear. But on back comes Bodway, feeding it into the corner. Power play's over. East has killed it off again. They're 4 for 4. And it knuckles down to my right for an icing call, though, against the Pioneers. 7:11 left in the second period. Now, can East get back on the attack? That's the question. So Mike Matucci has 103 wins on the Bay Reps bench. Chris Newton has 99 on the East Grand Rapids bench. Porter Brooks jams it around the wall. Far side Runyon couldn't clear, couldn't get a stick on it. From the corner, the pass deflected. And again, back out Zasina. Big rip, look out, nearly hit his man in the face. That was Walter, and instead Walter touched it with a high stick. And so that'll bring the face-off all the way back down into Bay Reps real estate. Lewis Walter was just trying to protect himself, I think. Zasina, he scraped the rafters with that wind-up on the slapper. Looked like John Daly back in the day. And that was a headhunter. Bird to take the face-off for East. That's a break to give the Pioneers some territorial advantage. Porter Brooks clears it across. Can Runyon get there? He will. Poking it one-handedly behind the net. Davidson to the middle. And cleared down and out by Elliott Mason. But right back into the clutches of the Pioneers. Bird's pass hit a leg. Doubling back Davidson to take control. He left it there for Bird of East. Runyon joining and trying to push it toward the net, but that didn't work. Big hit by Jake Goosens, knocking down Lewis Walter. Then Walter runs over Runyon, and Runyon goes down on top of Brody Patterson. A lot going on over there. Mason takes a hit from Runyon. East trying to bring the energy, turn up the physicality, try to take command of this game again with 6 to go in the second period. Jake Goosens couldn't get it out. Zasina jammed right back in deep. Zasina holds this clear attempt as well from Porter Brooks, but Jake Goosens nudges it down the wall. Line change for East. Porter Brooks has to go back for it in front of his own net. Good angle play off to Albers, sending it forward, hit the linesman with that. Might have saved East and icing, in fact. Albers up for Ross. Oh, and big shot and a glove stop by Boynton Fisher, who gets a couple of taps on the helmet from his teammates, Newman and Zasina, before they head off to the bench. Talk about a backswing akin to a golfer. That's what we saw there from Oliver Owen. Some old-fashioned slap shots in this second period. We don't see that too much in the game today. Still entertaining to watch. These sticks are so good. The reason why, the sticks are good enough, you can put 90% of a slap shot's pace on the puck with a wrister, and it's quicker to shoot. But when you do have the time, it still might pay off to go with a wind-up. The chip out, Albers turning on the speed, down the wall, 2-on-2. Good poke check from Edward Walter, forcing him to the corner. Albers is joined by Owen in the puck battle. Owen pokes it below the goal line. Still pretty fresh ice on that side of the rink because East has spent so much of this period shorthanded. The Bay Reps just do get it out to center. Cooper Rowan rifles it right back in off the stick of Edward Walter. Down the far side it's played and off of an East defender, so no icing. 4.5 left in the second. No goals in the second period. Cooper Rowan the give. Alex Barnes lost control of the puck. High in the zone. Good stick handling by Colton Davidson to keep in the possession of the Bay Reps. Mason lost control, inadvertently tripped Winkle, so no call there. That was actually a true leg-on-leg trip, and this puck is lifted into the bench by Zasina, and the face-off coming up in Bay Reps territory again. My name is Matt Gajtka, joining you for is it the 5th time already? Yeah, I think it is. The only games that I've missed so far, the win over Lake Orion and the victory at Byron Center last Saturday, as East knocked off the defending Division II state champs. Bjornsson's shot was weakened on the way to the side of the net. Boynton Fisher pounced and held it with exactly 4 to go in the period. And if the shot on goal counter is correct, it's only been 3-2 in favor of Bay Reps in the second period. Sometimes they add them on after the frame, so don't want to read too much into it. Brooks shooting. Oh, that one had a chance to leak through Boynton Fisher, but the Bay Reps goalie solid as a rock again to keep it. Boynton Fisher last year posted 4 shutouts, had a 2.32 goals against average, a 906 save percentage, which at this level is really good. Bjornsson couldn't quite shoot it. Actually, in the NHL these days, 906 is pretty good. No qualifier needed. Icing against the Reps. It's been interesting. We've seen at the top level of the game that attacking teams are more selective with their shots. Shots are actually at a 21-year low in the NHL this year, even as save percentage continues to dip over the past 10 years. That's been a long-term trend. Teams are focusing more on quality, not quantity, even though you still hear about getting pucks to net and all that, but that's not really what's happening in the game these days. The Reps couldn't clear it. Caden Goossens kept it in. And, you know, it's a trickle-down effect as players at this level, coaches at this level, try to emulate what they see the best players in the world doing. So it's not quite a one-to-one translation, but I think we are seeing that more in high school, junior, youth level. Another icing against the Bay Reps. So East just gradually trying to win the war of attrition now, just keeping the puck in the Bay Reps end a little bit more and hoping that that will lead to more opportunities. It's only a matter of time before they get another good look, if they can continue to get face-offs in the attacking zone. And Winkle wins it. Here is Nolan Brooks, try to avoid one man, and now his pass back a little too soft. And so Caden Goossens has to slug it away to the wall. Big, crunching neutral zone check from Bennett Winkle, knocking Brody Patterson for a loop. And that drew an ooh and an awe from the crowd. Biggest hit of the game. Bjornsson ladles it through. Nolan Brooks in the corner, centering, and tried to get it all the way across to Winkle. Didn't connect. It was off a Bay Reps leg. Back to the east line. Nolan Brooks, that's Porter Brooks, couldn't take the feed from his defense partner, Cooper Rowan, and we're down to the final 2.5 of the second period. Turned over. Patterson from behind the net is passed right up the center of the ice. Held in. Shot from Mason way too high, about a foot over the crossbar. That bangs off the window and cleared off the far boards by the Pioneers. Rowan relays across. Porter Brooks has some room. The freshman D, Brooks in deep. Second chance to the front. It's still loose. Referee wisely didn't blow the whistle. And it's behind the net. Huge tie-up, stuff drive from Owen, he's denied. And that's it as far as the play is concerned, but players exchange some shoves, and now they're separated. 2 minutes left in the period. Another great game in this West Michigan Hockey Showcase. First year for this event, 2-day event. It's brought a lot of folks here to the southeast corner of Grand Rapids, just off of Interstate 96 and 28th Street. Albers lays his stick down, wins at Owen, spun a shot toward the front, but it was blocked out high by Edward Walter, I believe. Porter Brooks goes over to his D partner, Whit Hill. The freshman Hill wanted to connect on to Oliver Owen, but he was stripped at the side wall. Bodway, who had an assist back in the first period, sent it near corner. Another big battle and won by East. Albers' pass clicks off the stick of Owen, who, a little exasperated, skates over to the boards, but he couldn't get there in time. And Owen's out of gas. He heads off to the bench, as does Albers. The Winkle line is back out there for East. Winkle's clearing pass ahead. Couldn't get the forward check going. 1:10 to go in the period. Winkle sends over to Hill. Hill, the bank pass to Nolan Brooks. Got some room in over the blue line. Dropped it off, but he hit his own leg with the drop pass. Unfortunately, that would have given Bjornsson some room. And so Elliot Mason fires it over to Zasina. Head up, makes a good pass across the red line to Klassens. Shoots into the near corner, and Walter in after it with 40 seconds left. from the corner. Out to the blue line, Gerlando. His wrister was blocked by Bjornsson. To the point, and Aiden Fairbank. And the big man lets it rip, but that's blocked too. Out to neutral ice. Brooks gets a stick in the way. Oh, he couldn't get it through to Winkle, who was charging toward the net. Rowan knocks it down at center. Long shot on goal. Boynton Fisher keeps it moving with 15 seconds. Look out, Fairbank had a pass from his own man, hit him in the face as he knocked it forward. Taken over by East again. Owen to the red line, and oh my, Albers nearly took it away from Gerlando. Final 2 seconds. Not enough time for East to make anything happen, and the buzzer sounds, ending period number 2. No goals in that period. East committed 3 penalties, but killed all 3 of them off. The shots on goal through 2 periods, 16 for East Grand Rapids. They only had 4 in that second frame, and 10 for Bay Reps. They had 4 in the second period as well. So we'll go to the third, all knotted up on the East Hockey live stream. Stay with us from the West Michigan Hockey Showcase at Patterson Ice Center. And we're back inside the Patterson Ice Center. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is the East Hockey live stream down to the final 17 minutes. And as we saw yesterday, if we're tied after regulation, we'll do a shootout. But obviously, quite a long way to go before we get to there, before we have to start worrying about that. It was fun, though, wasn't it? We don't see too many shootouts in high school hockey, usually just in these showcases, actually, because you have so many games in a day and you got to step aside for the next time slot. But for right now, the stage belongs to East Grand Rapids and Bay Reps, and the battle is on for the puck behind the Pioneers' net. Sent up the far wing, or near wing, excuse me, Winkle, and he'll win it back in the neutral ice area. Dish it on back for Porter Brooks, and now it's Nolan Brooks in after it. He gets the first touch. Brooks swirling the zone and shoots, and he tests the goalie. Tyler Boynton-Fisher once again equal to the task with 16:19 left in the third. No goals since Lewis Walter scored from a sharp angle in the final minute of the opening period. That was for Bay Reps to tie it up. Fans filtering back in after warming up in the lobby, in the I was going to say concourse, not quite a concourse here. Owen, I thought he was tripped again. That's the second time he had his legs taken out in this game. But still the battle continues. Play continues with Ross. Thought about his stuff. Now he'll play it back out to the point, and that shot took off on Porter Brooks, and it sailed over the glass into the screen. Impressive to watch these youngsters for East, especially on defense. Not an easy position to play as a ninth grader, but Whitaker Hill, Porter Brooks, both freshmen, both playing a ton with Stropke and Brinker out near the front of the net after the faceoff. This Pioneers top line has scored both goals. One at even strength, one on the power play. Owen pulls it loose. Drove it toward the front of the net. Boynton-Fisher leaves it there on a tee for Carter Denoyer. Frederick, one of the goal scorers for Bay Reps, nudged it behind his net. Gerlando, and the high flip down it goes. Over the top of everybody, icing the call against the Reps. No penalties against the Bay Reps since late in the first, and Owen eventually scored a power play goal. Oliver Owen has scored in each of his 4 career games against the Bay Reps. Now 2 in the regular season, 2 in the playoffs. Bird from point blank off the stick of Boynton-Fisher, and he's got it again, does the goaltender. Trevor Bird had it fall right to him. Hockey's a funny game. You got to be ready for that. And Bird, the center, ended up with a chance from right between the hash marks, maybe 15 feet out. It's like you're shooting in the backyard against the shooter tutor, but the 5-hole was not open. Shot 17-10 in favor of East. Can the East Grand Rapids Pioneers make it a 7-0 start in 2024-25? Runyon reaching out. Oh, look out. Caden Goosens couldn't glove that aerial puck, but Bird swoops in to save his teammate. Any kind of further stress, and Goosens has an easier touch this time. On to Rowan, far side, and ladled ahead by Jake Goosens, off to Owen Runyon, who fed it behind the goal. The Bay Reps come back with it. Good poke check at center by Bjornsson. Zasina, though. One more try. Wrister off the arm of Finch and hopping loose to the left circle. Charlie Finch has started and played every game for East in net. He watches as it's Brooks firing one over, but too far for Bjornsson, and again, the Bay Reps have it. Just the one clear-cut offensive chance in this period so far, that for Trevor Bird, who's still looking for his first varsity goal despite scoring in the shootout yesterday. I don't believe that counts. Almost certain it doesn't count. Although it is the deciding goal in the shootout, but there were 4 East goals in that shootout. 3 by seniors, 1 by freshmen. Bjornsson wires one off the blocker of Boynton Fisher. 13:44 to go in the period. Right to the front. Winkle scores on his own rebound. Bennett Winkle's got another one here on home ice, and it's 3-2. East leads again. 13:38 to go in regulation. Bennett buries from the doorstep. And our first goal in this game in more than a period. Boynton Fisher has been a tough nut to crack, but Winkle pulled it off there on his second try. Nothing glamorous about that goal, but Winkle stuck with it. That's the kind of goal that's very satisfying to score. When you just overpower the defender and the goaltender, that's not offside. The puck deflected into the East bench, it turned out. So Winkle scores his 5th of the season. That puts him now 3 behind James Albers for the team lead. Owen has 6, Ross has 6. Both of them scoring their 6th in this game, and the puck comes fluttering right to Finch off the face-off, and he'll hold. A third 1-goal lead for East Grand Rapids. Their first 2 leads evaporated in a hurry. Let's see if they can do better this time protecting it. Gerlando hands off. The Neuer's shot. He stubbed it. Excuse me, that was Edward Walter, actually. I've been confusing the Walters all night as well, or all afternoon. My apologies to the Bay Reps fans who might be watching today. If you are, thank you for joining us on the East Hockey live stream. Trying to promote high school hockey, not just East Grand Rapids. The high flip, and that hit the Davenport University National Championship banner from 2008. So that'll yank the face-off right back down to our right in East Grand Rapids real estate. Not a bad student section for this game. Not quite as good as yesterday, as the students could just hop on down to the rink after being dismissed from classes on a Friday afternoon. I'm sure they were feeling great about the weekend starting. Lewis Walter circles the goal. He's got one of the 2 strikes for Bay Reps today, but his pass couldn't be handled at the point. And chasing back Jacob Kraska, he missed that pass, and now the puck up for grabs in the neutral zone. And right back over to the Pioneers with a 3-2 lead. Brooks to Hill. Hill up to Bird on the pass, but Bird couldn't control it cleanly. 12.5 minutes left. Good hustle from Lewis Walter to take it away from Porter Brooks. Walter to the corner, trying to start the cycle game. Fairbank left it behind. And back out high for Newman to shoot, and a save made by Finch as it got all the way through. Zasina, sharp angle play in front of the net, rebound. Punch just wide of the goal, but a penalty coming up, and I think it's against East Grand Rapids. The opportunity in front fell to Colton Davidson. He missed, but someone was fouled in the high traffic area. Bird called for the cross check, a 5th penalty against East in this game. EGR has killed off all 4, and they've got another pivotal one to try to survive or even thrive during. We'll see about it. Cooper Rowan clears it around, but Zasina with the keep. Along the goal line, back out to Zasina. He hits his defense partner Mason. Zasina's pass to the near side, Denoyer. He caught that pass deftly, gave it to Mason, right back to Denoyer. And below the goal line, cutting in for a shot that's deflected, Lewis Walter. Walter, Davidson, Zasina, Mason, and Denoyer, the power play group for the Bay Reps. Zasina fires, blocked by the kneeling Caden Goosens. Give him another block shot on the weekend. And a clear by Rowan down the far wing. 40 seconds gone on the cross-checking minor to Trevor Bird, a freshman forward for East Grand Rapids. Hill scooping it forward. Hill saying that was a hand pass against Bay Reps, but The call not made. Play rolls on. 11 minutes to go in the third period. East back on top on a Bennett Winkle even strength goal. But now the Pioneers trying to kill another penalty. They've been flawless on the year. Mason cradles and gives. Denoyer coming off the wall. Zasina centrally and out of the right wing. Denoyer thought about a shot and he mishandled it. Denoyer on second try. Fed it back to Zasina. 30 seconds to go on the power play. From the corner, Davidson. Mason. Zasina near side. Denoyer shot blocked by Hill. Hill drives it around and not out. Kept in by Mason with his skates. And Davidson flopped a shot that went deflecting into the near corner. Zasina giving it off the bench. Shot by Gorlando. Save made by Finch. And fired away to the far side wall. And it wobbles out to center ice. Penalty's over. East is 5 for 5 and coming on is Winkle, driving in, backhand, saved by Boynton Fisher, who's back on his wallet in his crease to make the save and keep it a 3-2 game. Remember that one. Back to 5-on-5 play, though. That's what's most important as Bird looks behind him as he has escaped from the penalty box. Winkle switches play to the far side to Rowan. Rowan, can he keep it? He can momentarily. Helping out Bjornsson. Good pass. Finding Bird high in the zone. Bird to the backhand. He wanted to filter it to the back door, but Bjornsson has to catch it. Winkle shoots off the one touch. Boynton Fisher makes the save with 9:16 to go in the third. Catch your breath. We're down the stretch in Day 2 of the West Michigan Hockey Showcase, brought to you by D&W Fresh Market, Hoekstra Equipment, and Simple Benefits, among others. The shots are 18-13 East. Good to see. We're keeping track of that today. We did not yesterday. Never got the numbers on that one. Bjornsson pumps it on frame. Save made. Loose puck. And hacked out to center by the Bay Reps. Rowan ropes it right back in. 9 to go in the third. We're about halfway through the final regulation frame. East has maintained this lead for just about 5 minutes now. It's their longest lived lead of the game. Bay Reps came back to tie within roughly a minute each of the first 2 times that East jumped ahead. Bjornsson takes the lead feed from Caden Goosens. Bryce Bjornsson ducks in behind the net. 2 goals on the year. His second varsity campaign. Bjornsson keeps it all the way out to center point. Brooks pirouettes, lost his stick on the check, but still forced it back for a shot from his brother Porter that sailed over the goal, hit the top of the boards and jumped into the netting. It was a weird one. 8:20 remaining. East has won its first 6 games of the year. The offense has been harder to come by in the last 3 games, though. They needed 3, and they got 3 to beat Byron Center last Saturday. Just got the 1 goal in regulation yesterday as it's cleared around and out by the Bay Reps. They won in the shootout, scoring 4 times on 7 attempts. It's supposed to be a 3-round shootout, but we just kept going and going yesterday. Down the wall charges Edward Walter. He's pinned by Albers on the check. No penalty called there. Good hit from Albers. Porter Brooks turns it back away from the forechecking of Thatcher Bodway. Long lead feed deflected into the clutches of Ross, but he's stripped by Michael Frederick. Frederick up the near side with that pass. Denoyer sends it through to neutral ice. Denoyer on it again. Shooting high off Finch as it jumps off the high glass behind the net. East back in possession. Oh, Hill, he trips, falls down, still made the pass. Really good poise there from Whitaker Hill. Winkle, who has the go-ahead goal in this game, doubles back into his own half of the ice and fed it along for Caden Goosens to shoot around. But when Runyon catches up, with 7 minutes to go in the third, and it squirts right in on Boynton Fisher, and Tyler Boynton Fisher stops the music. East also trying to win for the third time in 4 meetings against the Bay Reps over the last 2 years. The Bay Reps have won 3 straight regional titles. They've got 7 overall since 2002. A couple early on in 2002 and 03, and then 3 this decade. Looks like another highly competitive outfit, too, for Coach Mike Matucci. They're going to be a tough out again in the spring. Right to the side of the net from Winkle. Boynton Fisher halts the proceedings. Big thanks again to Jake Tiedema for running the camera all weekend. Also got to meet some of the family of East head coach Chris Newton backstage, if you will. His wife Jessie, his father and mother-in-law are here as well. They tracked me down. They said, "Hey, aren't you the broadcaster?" I'm always kind of nervous to say yes in that situation, but I shouldn't have been. Pushed along through Lewis Walter, but he keeps on going for Bay Reps to the near corner. Chris Newton's looking for win number 100 in his East Grand Rapids career. This is 7th season. This would be the one to get him to triple digits. Icing against East Grand Rapids. Tilt that down a little bit. Over to the far wing, and out with it comes Ross. From the snow in front of his bench. It's piling up quite a bit in front of the East bench, but he lost control. He looked to gallop in over the blue line. This is an icing back the other way. Against Bay Reps, 6:06 remaining. Counting up the win totals for Coach Chris Newton over the years, 21 in his first year combined regular season and playoffs, 2018-19. 2019-20, 11. That the season that was cut short, of course, due to COVID-19, but the Pioneers had lost in the playoffs the previous week before the world shut down. No icing here. Back to that in a moment. Side of the goal, Hill took it away from his goalie. Wanted to be cautious with it, and I think he made the right play as he'll give it on to Bjornsson, sending it into space for Porter Brooks, or excuse me, Nolan Brooks to skate into it. But Brooks' pass for Walter was intercepted, and around it comes again. Chip deep, 5:30 left in the third. Rowan around the kick plate, over to the far side, but couldn't clear. Fairbank has it taken away by the strong skating Winkle. Strong skating and strong checking as well, as he went right through the hands of Fairbank. That's how you get it back. High stick on the puck against Bay Reps. Stops play again. Anyway, back to the win totals over the years. Really, Newton could have gotten there earlier, but the 2021 season, shortened due to COVID as well. The Pioneers played just 14 regular season games. He got 7 wins that year. 13 the year after that. Right to the front. Goosens tripped on his way, trying to get to the rebound, and that'll be an East power play just when they need it to try to take command of this one in a big way. 5:16 left in the third period. And it's going to be the Pioneers' first power play since way back in the first. Zach Gerlando goes to the box for tripping. East is 1 for 1 on the advantage today. Just quickly, the last 2 years for East, 16 wins in 2022-23 and 24 last year, going all the way to the state championship game for the second straight season. 6 so far this season, trying to make it 7. The Pioneers go to work on the power play with full control of the puck. Winkle to Albers. Albers to Ross. Ross to Owen. Saves spot he scored from in the first period, but that time he's stymied there as he tried to wrist it on goal. It was blocked by Lewis Walter, who clears 200 feet. Ross gets around the forechecking Walter. 1:30 left on the power play. Here comes Ross. So he nearly walked the defenseman, came right toward the net. Never got all the way through to Boynton Fisher. Ross has to retreat to center to take this. Ross and Albers teamed up down that right wing. Winkle pulls up inside the line. Area pass. Oh, a big bounce off the kick plate. Up in the air it goes. Still free. Albers controls. Walking right down the slot and has it into the corner. A minute to go on the power play. Owen fires for Ross. Albers open. Shooting. Glove save by Boynton Fisher. Boynton Fisher continues to keep his team in the game. Another clutch save. 1:01 to go in the power play. East keeps its seniors out there. 5-man power play unit, all seniors, all forwards. Ross, Albers, Winkle, Brooks, and Owen. Owen way back outside the zone. Now he'll shoot toward the back post. I think that might have been a shot, but it almost fell to the stick of Albers for him to let it go. Albers winds it up. Ross closes, feeds. Owen looking to shoot. He does. Save made. Boynton Fisher again, and it's at his feet somewhere, and he finds it. Well, that's twice that Owen has had a great look from that faceoff circle in this power play. First one was blocked right off his stick. The second one, though, he had the opportunity to put it on the goalie. Boynton Fisher equal to it. Owen beat him to the glove side in the first period, you'll recall, if you were with us back then. That was the second goal of the game for East. They have a 3-2 lead. Second unit out there now. Jake Goosens, what will he do? Feed it over. Bjornsson looking, firing, glove save again. East piling up the shots on this power play, but can't get that fourth goal. That would be all important at this juncture. Good face-off win by Bird. Bjornsson swoops in to take command. On back with the pass to Caden Goosens. Cooper Rowan, Caden Goosens. It's 3 forwards and 2D now with the power play for East. 6 seconds to go on it. Bird stick handling. Behind the back pass, behind the net to Jake Goosens. Bjornsson. Bay Reps back to full strength. 3:11 to go in regulation. And East would love to keep playing with the puck around the Bay Reps net. Bjornsson twisted out in front, and another glove save. On the rebound chance, it came right to Jake Goosens, who put it on goal. Give him credit. Sometimes the quickness of the shot can win out over the sheer velocity, but Goosens got a good piece of that one. And again, that glove of Boynton Fisher continues to be stout. 3 minutes exactly left in the third. Just one goal since the first period. That of Bennett Winkle early in this frame to make it a 3-2 lead. Fairbank twisting and turning inside and out against Oliver Owen. That allows him to send it in off the stick of Walter. But East with the retrieval. Hill gave it to Albers. Back against the grain, on to Ross. Gave it one more time. Owen shooting, trying to go down low. Save made, rebound Albers. Stopped again by Boynton Fisher. The Pioneers keep buzzing. Fisher keeps stopping. Boynton Fisher, that is. It's a hyphenated last name, in case you're wondering. I'm not saying his full name every time he makes the save. There were 2 Boynton Fishers on this team the last couple of years. Thomas Boynton Fisher now playing in the Saskatchewan Junior League. Last I checked with the Notre Dame Hounds. Thank you, EliteProspects.com. Great resource for people like me. Hill inadvertently ices that. He checks his stick. That puck trampolined off his stick and flipped all the way down to the other end of the rink. And Hill checks out. He wants a new stick, in fact. Going to the backup. 2:23 remaining. Tyler Boynton Fisher, the goalie for Bay Reps, remains in his net. But I'll keep an eye on him for you. Off the draw. Going forward was Winkle. Brooks couldn't clear, but Rowan will. Putting it on the tape of Bjornsson. Bjornsson with Winkle. The relay. Winkle shot. Save made. Rebound Nolan Brooks. Threw it just wide of the net. into the near corner. 2:07 remaining. Penalty coming up, and I think it's against the Bay Reps again. Yep, it will be. Finch was coming off for the extra attacker. Whistle sounds. 2:03 left, and that's going to hurt the comeback effort for the visiting team today. Joel Zasina, one of their better attacking defenders as well. He's going to have a seat. So consecutive power plays after going essentially 2 periods without one. Third opportunity of the afternoon overall. Thank you for joining us on the East Hockey live stream. One more should do it for East. Can they get it on the power play? They'll spend essentially the end of regulation on the power play. Shot from Brady Ross through a screen. That got nothing but glass, though. Wanted to go up under the bar, it appeared. Winkle coming off the wall. Winkle holding, feeding. Albers along the goal line. Threw it toward the front. It's loose there, and the crease it goes in. I don't even know who scored it. The Pioneers are shrugging. It might have been put into the net by a Bay Rep, perhaps. Doesn't matter, though. It's 4-2. Another PPG for EGR. Albers goes through the handshake line first. He was the one who centered it, and then it was just sitting there at the top of the blue paint, and it somehow went in, and I'm pretty sure it's going to count. 4-2 reads the scoreboard with 1:42 left. I don't know who they're going to give it to, though. Kind of an odd way to perhaps put this game on ice, but you'll take them as you get them. A 2-for-3 performance on the power play this afternoon. Both centers are kicked out of the face-off circle right at center ice to restart play. 4-2 game. First 2-goal lead for East today. That is icing. I thought it should be. It was dumped in from behind the red line by Denoyer. And then one of the Bay Reps went down. He fell down, lost his glove in the process. I don't know what happened there. Andrew Thomas just took a tumble. Haven't seen him out there very much. Ross appears to be lightly chirping him. 1:34 left. And if you like symmetry and math, you'll like this. East leads 4-2, so doubling up Bay Reps in goals and also in shots. Ross scores! Brady Ross! That one belongs to him. Good eye. Sniper, top right corner shot. Coming off the wall, the face-off win by Albers. Right back to Ross. That line does it again. It's 5-2. And Ross has 2 today. He scored the first, and he might have scored the last for East on this afternoon. Ross is 7th on the year, now just one behind Albers for the team lead with 1:29 left. Even strength goal. Well, that's the way to finish it definitively for East Grand Rapids. And now their head coach, Chris Newton, is just a minute or so away from win number 100 at East. This will be a 7-0 start for the Pioneers. I'll have to look back. It's their best start in several seasons. Certainly in the Chris Newton era. Blocker save by Finch as it hops out of play on the chance from Davidson. Cutting in off the wall. 53 seconds to go. So Bay Reps will go 1-1 on their trip down here to GR. And East will sweep the weekend. Shootout win yesterday, regulation win today. East just kept knocking at the door, and a 3-goal third period is going to make the difference on this Saturday. Bjornsson in after it. Bjornsson, as the D just backed off, and Bjornsson shot it off the back of Boynton Fisher. Fortunately for the goalie, it hopped wide. Bay Reps just got a little passive there at the end. 30 seconds to go. Rowan broke it up at center. Cooper Rowan dumps it down, deflected, no icing here. 20 seconds left to go, and a 5-2 East Grand Rapids lead. Nolan Brooks lofts it down the wall. 8 seconds left. And the Bay Reps wave the white flag as they give it away to Caden Goosen. Stick handles the rest of the way. The scintillating start for the Pioneers continues. Pioneers win. Pioneers win 5-2. And for Chris Newton, he's keeping it 100. 100 victories for Chris Newton as head coach of the East Grand Rapids boys hockey team as the Pioneers swarm their freshman goalie Charlie Finch. Not only is the team 7-0, Finch is 7-0 to start his varsity career. Ross scores twice. Bennett Winkle gets the game winner here in the third. Albers, Ross, and Owen combine for, well, looks to be 4 of the 5 goals today for East Grand Rapids as they sweep the weekend in the inaugural West Michigan Hockey Showcase, and they'll head up to the UP next weekend trying to keep their unbeaten run going to start 2024-25. They'll play Marquette and Sault Ste. Marie next Friday and Saturday. Back here in Grand Rapids the following Friday before Christmas. That'll be our next broadcast on the East Hockey live stream, by the way, as the Pioneers challenge Rockford at Griff's Ice House at Belknap Park. But we'll keep our eye trained to the north. We'll see how the Pioneers do next weekend. Congrats to Chris Newton for the milestone victory here in his 7th season, early in his 7th season. His team is off to a great start and once again showing the entire state that they will be right there challenging for another championship this season. They have gotten it going. They have burst from the gate like we've seen very few Pioneers teams do in the history of the program. Thank you so much for joining us. Not sure who that 4th goal went to. I never heard the announcement. Might be Albers. I guess we'll find out later in the week when the box score is finalized. Either way, though, I've got Ross down for 2 goals, Albers for a couple of assists, Owen with another goal. He scores against Bay Reps again. And Bennett Winkle scoring the game winner at the 13:38 mark of the 3rd period. Bay Reps goals, Michael Frederick and Lewis Walter as they drop to 5-3 on the season. That's it for me. And look, there we go. We got the balloons out. 100 they spell out if we can get them to behave. You gotta love it. The parents, boosters coming through. There was a lot of discussion last night and into this afternoon about whether we had the right count. There was one game a couple of seasons ago that for some reason wasn't recorded on one website but was on the other. We determined that it should have been recorded, and it was not on Michigan Hockey Hub. Apparently, My Hockey Rankings had it right, so thank you, My Hockey Rankings, making this celebration of 100 victories for Chris Newton possible. Way to go, Coach, and thanks to all of you for watching all weekend long, all season long so far. Back for more in a couple of weeks on the East Hockey Live stream. Good night. God bless.